This is so dumb. Really dumb. I'm fully Pabst fueled right now, thanks to this tasty Pabst Blue Ribbon. Mama's gonna be proud.
Everyone is waiting on a train like revolution. Take us all to a place where there's one simple solution. Only no coincidence that bliss and ignorance walk hand in hand. And the revolutionists and the anarchists can agree on common politics or decide which side of this city will burn down tonight.
Muddy, moldy, mildew, muck. I got moss in my crack. I gotta go. I'm not looking back. I'm gonna go to a
House party. House party.
I think right now I've got like a half dozen artists I'm working with, and I'm teaching guitar. I've got 20-some guitar students and drum students, and you know, playing in a band and performing pretty much every weekend as a solo artist, you know. So between all that stuff, I'm a pretty busy cat myself. Plus I got a wife and 2 kids. The last 5 years or so of my career has been centered here in Portland. I moved here to work here at this studio, at the Most On Music Studio, with Jeremy Wilson, who is kind of an early musical hero of mine, actually. I traveled great distances to go see Dharma Bum's concerts, and I had all their records. So it was a big privilege to me to move up here and be invited to work in this studio. We essentially pumped it full of new equipment and reconfigured the place, and we've been running this studio here now for almost 6 years since I've been here. I've been working a lot as a record producer and playing in bands. I'm playing in my own band in Silverhawk still, and I've been playing with Jeremy's band. I've kind of tried to get back into my own music a lot over the last year, and I've really been doing a lot of work as a solo acoustic performer. And getting out and doing that consequently brought me into this whole community of people in St. John's. And so I got to know Hawkins and a few other people around town there, Celia Reef.
You could let me down, la da da, but I got up, la da da, and I got high, la da da, that's okay, la da da. You could let me down, la da da, but I got up, la da da, and I got high, la da da.
Hearing him play and knowing him and doing open mics together and kind of, I don't know, knowing his music and knowing that he knew my music is what made me decide to go with him. And honestly, I could not have made a better choice. He definitely had that feel when we were in the studio and everything that I had that, okay, you're gonna make this work, because I don't really know how to use any of the equipment, how to do anything. I feel like sometimes I barely even know how to play my guitar. I mostly am a singer, and he made it all doable and easy and understandable to me.
saw this dog sticking its head out the window of a car this morning, and that's it clicked in my mind. That's what I feel like when I go into the studio with Sam. It's like he's got all these controls and all this knowledge of this big audio spaceship, and I get to sit shotgun and just be like, go over this way. Whoa! All right, cool, let's go this way then. He's a really good producer because he's basically an extension of what you want to hear in your own music, and he's got the knowledge and the years of experience and the education and the know-how to make it happen.
Almost. Try again. That's what I've been doing this last couple of years. I've been working with a few artists from St. John's, and there's a lot of talented people out there, and it's a really cool vibe. And I just love how neighborhood that it feels. You know, it feels like a small town, like where I grew up. And after being so involved on this side of the glass for so long, I was really feeling a call to go out and present myself as a songwriter and a singer and connect with people on this really face-to-face level. And the ironic thing about it is that it puts me back in this chair, producing bands and producing artists again. E major arpeggio and then an A major arpeggio. And there's your A though. Oh. There you go. Yeah, okay. Most of the people I've had the privilege to work with over the last year have been people like Hawkins, who know my work and respect my work or like it, and want me to bring something to it. And that actually makes this work a lot more satisfying than just going out and developing talent. You know, it's a lot more fun when there's some sort of a almost familial kind of vibe about what you're doing in this kind of work, I think.
That's just always the melody I hear.
So it's like 1, 3, 5.
Yeah, 1, 3, 5.
Cool thing about neighborhood feel, like this vibe that's going on in the North Portland thing, you know, is it doesn't really blow up. It just kind of undulates. Yeah. You ever notice that? I got to see Hawkins play.
Very grateful to be the first musical act here in over a decade.
When things are blowing up in St. John's, that's because there's 150 people over at the pub checking out Hawkins in his pajamas, you know? And they didn't come because there was an advertisement or because it was on the radio or because it was on TV. They came because they heard there was this dude from the neighborhood that was going to be there singing songs in his red pajamas. You're more like Jesus. You like pick people up as you go. You know what I mean? You walk around like an old school prophet or something. Everybody's doing it out there, you know? The people who are most successful in that neighborhood take that approach, you know? You just go out there and get on the street and start talking to people, and you have a moment, and there you go. They're at your show next time. And it seems like that's the way the world should work. There's a fine line in rock and roll or in pop culture too between just like, you know, ultimate garage kind of, you know, party, backyard party culture that really is where rock and roll and pop music kind of comes from initially. You know, blues and jazz and folk music. This is stuff that happens on a small scale and then gets blown out of the water, you know, and becomes something else at the arena, you know. So I don't know, I think it's really cool to be a part of a scene of people, so to speak, that's kind of like anti-scene in its own way. I do enjoy a good house party with some rock and roll.
a lot more energy and it's more intimate.
The people are like this close to you spilling beer on your instruments, you know. But you can feel like the heat from them dancing in front of you, and it makes you play even harder. And
right.
You know.
Yeah, the energy at those shows is like no other shows that we've ever played. It's like totally amazing. I think I lost a wheel for my amp in Sam's van, so I gotta get in touch with him.
We went to the Oktoberfest party, or Rocktober party, actually, is what it's called, I do believe, at Sam Densmore's. I knew a couple people, but for the majority, I didn't really know them. I don't have a shot right now, this blows. We were hanging out, and Hawkins was gonna go on, and we had a couple growlers, and I met a few really nice folks, and we hung out, and then Hawkins went on, and he played a really nice set, like Sam's.
Do you have anything to say?
I'm really glad that you put the mirror on the front of this. About to go on.
We'll keep bumping into this thing.
Oh, I've got this cool little intro lick that I do, and I just forgot to do it. I'll do it.
We'll decide if it's cool.
Yeah! It's there now.
It's cool.
I'd say house parties are the most fun because you have a bunch of people there that there's no stage, it's just you, people hanging out, and if they're into it, they're standing there. If they're not into it, they're in the kitchen or they're chugging vodka in the bathroom, you know. But if they're hanging out right in front of you, that's the closest connection I think you could ever have with an audience if you're at a house show. There's no stage, there's no sound guy, it's just you with a fucking PA to your left and a guitar in your hands. If somebody's really enjoying it, they're gonna be right there in front of you, and it's a really good feeling.
It's relaxed. You know, everyone's having part of the band is having fun. There's nothing to worry about. There's no one, like, there's no overseer, there's no booker, there's no responsibility.
We were talking one day and we said, hey, you know, let's get some of these crazy folks from the bars up on Lombard to come over and hang out and have a rock and roll party in the garage.
Sam's kid was hanging out, eating popcorn and watching the show. That was cool to see.
You know, it could be in a weird place, you know. When the circumstances are weird, everything gets weird.
Show was awesome. Yeah, it was just like a house party. People going crazy, feeling comfortable, like going crazy. With the kegs helped a lot too.
Having kegs of beer helps. I think people have more fun when they don't have to pay for their drinks.
Or they feel it's more accessible to the music.
You missed the 8-ball shot?
Dick.
I love the energy of the house show. It's just, because essentially it's a party, and so people are there to party, and there's like this critical mass of just pure energy that comes into a basement.
The worst thing, I think, is when cops come. Sometimes it's necessary that they come depending on what kind of a crowd is hanging out at a house show.
You know, at the same time, someone's house has to get trashed.
Probably start with graffiti, and you always get like the movie theater floor, you know. If you have wood floor, you're fucked. You know, windows get broken. There ends up being a pile of like 60 bikes stuck to each other in the corner.
The whole porch just...
That's a lot of fun. I love playing house shows.